Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz, September 30, 2017 at 1:07 a.m. Birmingham. And topic is, I'm going to make this a quick one, Satanic. There are more satanic rituals of every kind, and going back to Kerry, by the way, you know he is a member of the Skull and Bones, and what he tried to do, and of course it failed, but that's just a tiny, tiny part of what's going on in the background that you're not seeing, and that even looking for it, it'll be hard to find it. But I'm going to tell you some things that you can look for that I have personally looked, and I'm talking about 5, 6, 7 years ago, and even marked them so that when I would go back and look at them, I could go right to them. This is Google Earth sky. This blue triangular shaped object that no one knew what it was, and the size of it was giant, to say the least. It was moving through space. It was headed in our direction, and it was a very long way out, light years out, as we read distance, but then their time not so far. And then there were things that you could look at. You could look at the three-tailed comet, and people kept saying, well, that's not a comet, that's a spaceship of some type. And that was there. That's something else that you could look at, and it was obvious. You could see the three tails. Well, there were a number of things that I had marked, but then they're all gone. Even though the computer I had them on, I no longer use. I have an iMac, and I've had it since 2013. What's odd is everything, because I remember the locations of most of them, everything that I had marked, now when you go to it, has an X on it. Go anywhere and look at the horse head. I don't know if it's called Galaxy or what it was, but look at it. Zoom in on it, and you'll see X's all over it. Things have been blocked out that you can no longer see. Horsehead Nebula, I believe what it was. But everywhere you look on Google Earth, it is blocked out. It has an X over the site. And whether it's something you have to pay extra to see, I don't know. Same goes with Google Earth when you look at Antarctica. Look at the opening that I used to look at frequently. It's no longer an opening. It is a blurred out spot. They're hiding all around the perimeters of Antarctica more than they have ever hid before. Used to, you could go to these things. They're no longer there. Even in the North Pole, things you could go to, they are no longer there. Streets in certain cities, including some in California and on the very edge of Baja California, they're blurred out. They're hiding so much from us today because a lot of people are beginning to put two and two together and see that there's a lot of stuff taking place. And if you would pay attention to the Lucifer telescope on Mount Graham in Arizona, and if you could find any current talks about that, you would hear about these things. But I think they have even taken the Lucifer information and began to reduce it or either block it out so that you can't even YouTube it. What's going on today? We are going to be hit by a major, major event that the United States have kept hid from us. All other countries are raising hell at our country, our federal government, because they're doing their best to disclose all that they have been watching and seeing, especially the Minister of Interior in Canada, or maybe his Minister of Defense, I don't recall. He's screaming it out still today in condemning the United States for not releasing this information. He said, because it is upon us right now, it'll be a surprise if they don't scream it out and tell America what's about to happen. NASA said the same thing. Something's about to happen, but then they were shut up. They were told to hush, and it's removed. I did a blog on it before it was removed, if you recall that. And go back in some of the references to September 23, and you can see some were made by NASA, but yet they're no longer talking. Guys, something's about to happen. And tonight, I should have gotten into it earlier, and I didn't. But during my prayer, boy, something hit me, and again, I had to stop in the middle of my prayer, close my prayer, and go and make notes of what was told to me. And I got to get that to you. It's nothing that is life and death, but it's just a bit of knowledge that most people know in the back of their mind, but most people don't think of it. I never thought of it. But it was disclosed to me during prayer, so now I got to tell you. And I'll do that perhaps Sunday night. Jody Wolf Expoz.